Good morning. Today is Friday Q&A day. Yay! For the KR Daily Transmission. Welcome back. It's so good to be here with you. I had some dental surgery yesterday, so hi. I had to sort out all the soreness before going live, but I'm really happy to be here. Hello, welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself this morning. Say hello to your community. Good morning, Sophia in Austin, Texas. Good morning, Jennifer. It's so lovely to see everyone popping on. SV from Texas. Kathy, good morning. Rise and shine. Yay! Roseanne's writing in from South Africa. Good evening, Roseanne. So this is one of my favorite KR Daily Transmissions of the week. Hi, Muriel. It's when we do your questions live. So yeah, I'm excited about this question that came in because, again, creativity is one of my favorite topics to talk about and dialogue about with you yesterday. I want to thank everyone who wrote in for yesterday's video, as well as the post that I did on Instagram Live. If you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, you can find me on Instagram at Kaia Ra Official, just like here on YouTube. And oh, it's so nice to see everyone saying hello to one another. I love how loving our community is and how much we embrace one another around the world. Pauline's writing in and she's sharing that she just finished Mary Magdalene's chapter in the Sophia Code. That's a really big deal. Congratulations, Pauline. That was one of my most, so that's definitely one of my favorite chapters. And so this month, our subject is creativity and communication. And I'm actually wearing a piece from our creativity and communication collection. This is the Isis Embody Your Sovereignty pendant. And as an example of creativity, I decided to show you, like, I created this mala with the Isis pendant. I had it made for me when I was in Bali. And these beads are actually lapis, which are sacred to Isis. So, this is an example of, like, you can create anything with this jewelry, depending on what your needs are and how inspired you are. Hi, good morning from Germany. Yes. So I suppose it's the evening there, but okay, so clearly I'm a little excited for today's Q&A. And I'm going to read the question for today. I'm going to just look on my phone here. The team angels just texted me. And if you have any questions about what we offer at the Sophia Code platform, our mystery school, our curriculums, our amazing upcoming live events, my next stop is Austin, where we're going to be coming together for this incredible live leadership training immersive, where you can step up to the mic with me. We're going to be sharing a vast wealth of insights, professional tools, and wisdom from the front lines of leadership. We've been running this international movement for over, I think it's been about 6 years now. So there's so much insight that we have to offer you and your own professional development. And we have an exciting crew that's ready to welcome you in Austin. Austin has become quite a hub for spirituality and leadership and creativity. So I'm really, really thrilled to be connecting with our loved ones in Austin and with those of you that are ready to meet us there in May. Okay, so I'm going to go check out this question. Let's see. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, feel free to, my team angels are here supporting in the chat. Feel free to say hello, angels, and let everyone know who you are this morning. Okay, so today's question is, how can I overcome feelings of being in a creative rut? How do I reignite my creativity when I feel stuck? So I want to thank Kelly for this question. Thank you, Kelly, for writing in. It's honestly, like, this is such an exciting topic for me. And thanks for writing that question in, Kelly. So creativity and creative ruts. I believe there's no such thing as a creative rut. After years of being in relationship with my own creativity, what I believe happens is that when we step into our creativity, we start to tap into our divinity. We start to tap into our direct communion with whatever you call God, source. And when you come into contact with your divinity, I share this again and again in the Sophia Code Mystery School. When you come into contact with the divine light within you and within all of creation, you also come into contact with a greater conscious awareness of your wounding around being divine, the trauma associated with being a divine being in human form. And ironically, creativity is one of the fastest ways to confront those shadows, those wounds within us. But we often confuse the creative fire that inspired us to come closer to the fire of divinity within us. We often confuse the magnetism of creativity with the wound. And then what happens is because we're confronted with a wound or an unconsciously held belief system of unworthiness, or even that we're not allowed to be creative. We can be programmed into so many beliefs in childhood around the topic of creativity, around the topics of success and abundance. And when we step into a more creative mindset and we start to witness ourselves coming in alignment with that divine flow of creativity that is honestly flowing through everyone and everything, like all of life is like a river, like it is an eternal fabric of creativity. It's constant creation, perpetual creation, an abundance of creation. When we come into contact with that, at first it can feel glorious, thrilling, exciting, or at least fascinating, at the very least, interesting. And then that moment where we start to witness, oh, these are the wounds, or these are the belief systems that have held me back from that creative flow. Very often people freeze, or they fight and flight. There's almost like a traumatic response to coming into contact with your own creative spirit. And someone who has survived such a devastating impact on my own self-esteem and my own self-worth in regards to the subject matter, the first thing I want to say is, I have so much compassion for anyone that's felt the frustration of feeling set back or stagnant in your creative process, because it can feel very, very, very painful. And so I hope that these tools that I'm going to lay out here for you, share with you today, will help you know that you're never really stuck. You're never really stagnant in your journey of embodying your creativity. What's happening is you're learning how to love yourself, to step into a far deeper healing conversation with yourself through the journey of your creativity. And if this is resonating or landing for you, feel free to share how creativity has been a part of your healing journey in the chat or in the video replay comment fields, because when we share about our personal journey, everyone benefits. We discover that the pain or suffering or seeming stagnation that we're experiencing is not unique to us, that everyone has a journey of healing with their creativity. And when we normalize that we're all we think privately suffering, we realize that our pain isn't personal to just ourselves. It's pretty universal. And this journey of reclaiming our creativity is the same journey as reclaiming your divine feminine intuition. It's the same journey as reclaiming your divine right to abundance. And what's so interesting about allowing yourself to surrender into a more creative mindset, more creative thinking, more critical thinking a more creative approach to life is it returns you back to your joy for life. It invites and invokes a more playful spirit that uplifts even the most complicated or seemingly heavy tasks in your work life, your career, your businesses. It's important for us to understand that creativity is always beckoning us towards our highest potential. And this is why we began 2022 with the self-love journey, because when we are being beckoned into our highest potential, it requires an enormous amount of self-compassion, self-love to meet our hearts, our big, brave, beautiful hearts that are willing to take this journey of becoming more accepting and allowing of stepping into that creative flow, which leads to even greater abundance, prosperity, and more meaningful and fulfilling connections in your personal life and your work life. So there's some great questions coming in, and I'm going to stay on point with Kelly's question, but if I have time, I'll come back and answer some of these questions that are in the chat. And I'm grateful that you write your questions into the chat, because then my team angels can write them down and share them with me after the live. And so, okay, number one, the very first thing I do when I'm feeling stagnating or stuck or confused about a creative creative prompt within me is I invoke my circle of empowerment. And this is why I encourage our mystery school students, of course, our Sophia Circle leaders. If you're a Sophia Circle leader, please share, say hi in the chat and share when your next Sophia Circle journey is coming up. We would love for everyone to get to know you better. You're part of our extended team, our international team, sharing the Sophia Code teaching worldwide alongside us. So the first step is calling in my circle of empowerment. The moment I do that, it doesn't matter if I'm grieving or feeling unresolved anger. It doesn't matter if I'm feeling lost or overwhelmed. I think one of my biggest journeys over the past year has been actually navigating overwhelm. And the moment I call in the circle of empowerment, it's I feel the calm, powerful presence of the Ascended Masters and the Sophia Dragons and all of my guards and guardian angels assuring me, reminding me that, there are quantum timelines unfolding. There are quantum options available to me. There's always the opportunity to soften my grip, soften my understanding about what's unfolding in that present moment, that desire to feel and be one with creativity, and the contractions that can occur when different parts of me might be like, I don't know about that, maybe not, maybe we should sabotage this moment and do something else instead. And so the Ascended Masters help me to remember that it's always in my power to slow down and reevaluate and be curious about what's really happening in that moment. And in their presence, I'm able to evaluate something that I think is very important when we're talking about seeming stagnation, which is simply your soul, your personality, the different parts of you wanting to be reassured it's safe to be creative. It's safe to take that next step. And so that's the next thing I would offer you is your creativity can only happen with the next step. There's only ever the next step, even if it's like, I don't know how to communicate in this conversation. Maybe there's a conversation that you need to have with someone. This is creativity too. If you don't know how to approach that conversation because it's outside your realm of comfort, you can stop and pause and ask for the creative input of your team, your guides, the Ascended Masters, and the angels. And what I love about creativity, what I love about those moments of seeming stagnation is it's a calling back to prayer. It's a calling back to realign with the source of your creativity, which is your higher self. It's your direct connection to God. And it's also always, and I mean always, a co-creative collaboration between you and your spiritual team. And of course, it could be you and other earth angels that we love. I mean, that, that are loved ones in your life. But a lot of the heavy lifting of creativity is meant to be a collaborative effort where your heavenly friends, your friends in high places, your winged allies, including, of course, the presence and creative power of your higher self, gets involved. When we think all the only resource we have to lean into is ourselves and our human experience, that's when the overwhelm happens. That's when the seeming stagnation happens. It's when we relax and open to the enormous amount of support that we have to make new decisions, to download new ideas, to operate and connect with others in an entirely new way. That is creativity that the Ascended Masters are deeply interested in. Do you know how interesting you are to your spiritual guides, to your spiritual family in heaven? Do you have any idea how fascinated they are every time you pause, surround yourself in the circle of empowerment, get very clear in your direct connection to your higher self, and choose to channel the creative fire of your soul from that empowered space? I mean, I think we have this idea that they know everything, but you, in your free will, can surprise an Ascended Master and an angel with your decision about what you're going to allow through directly from God. The Ascended Masters are not God. God is God. Source is God. And we just never know what's going to happen when that source starts to download and hit the ground running within your heart and you're willing to in life. Anything can happen. This is why we are perpetually fascinated by the creativity of life. This is where the fireworks of life start to happen when we open our hands and our hearts to that creative fire and witness creative solutions pouring through us in our workplace, in our family life, with our clients, with our businesses, with our ministries. That's the way. That's the way all the masters revealed their mastery. It wasn't by being solitary and alone and avatars of perfection. It was through the mastery of collaboration. Their recognition that the creative fire that's pouring through them is the same creative fire that we all have access to. And masters of light, golden dragon master teachers and golden dragon master healers, advocates, way showers, they understand that it's through through a collaborative partnership or collaborative team effort that this beautiful holy fire of God pouring through each and every one of us has a place to land that's not just your own human experience, and that it goes further and wider and far more fun when we are partnering with our guides and angels. So how is this landing for you? Feel free to share in the chat or the video replay. That was a pretty big pearl right there. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Okay, so that calling in of your circle and just taking a moment of meditation, that is a step that will never not work. And it's also a step that you can use to pull yourself out of an emotional, like if you're feeling really stuck in a certain emotion, it can help move the energy and help you move into a space where, and I a lot about this in the Soul Power Journey curriculum on my website at kaira.com. And you can use the circle of empowerment and this connection with your guides and of course the source to guide you in what that next step is, to help you be present with those emotions, not to escape them, but what action, what presencing is being called forth for your heart to feel supported and loved as you navigate those important steps of being present with those emotions that feel like stagnation, but are really actively calling you into your next level of empowerment. Okay, number 2 for creativity, that's really, really important, is movement. And that means that when you are perhaps you're working, praying for, asking for creative solutions, asking for new ways of being creative in your life, in any area of your life. And it seems as though you're just not getting the answer right away. It's important to go take a walk. You could go for a jog. You could go for a hike. You could go sit with a tree and just allow your back to sit up against a tree and just reconnect with the heart of the earth. I mean, the earth is wildly and consistently and ever abundant and creative. And this movement, I mean, personally, I'll share what I do. I love yoga. I love working out. I shared on Instagram the other night a little video. I take boxing classes. I love the impact. I love strength training. I love technical hikes. I love to dance. And these movements allow us to come back into flow with the spirit of God, the spirit of source, your higher self flowing through you. And when you come back into an alignment with just the physical movement and connection with your source, again, you're not just coming in contact with one part of source, you're coming into contact with source. And source is creativity. So as you move your body, as you deepen in your breath, as you allow your mind to become clear by focusing on something other than the solution you're seeking, that breath, that movement, that connection with nature is opening up your body, heart, and mind to come back into alignment with the creative flow. And very often, if I've been seemingly stuck on a solution, downloading a solution, or feeling in a rut with my creativity, it's often when I just say, okay, I'm letting this go. I'm pushing too hard. And I'll be on a hike or a jog or in a class or punching that bag. And all of a sudden, boom, the download will come through. It's just like, here it is. And, I'll often hear the laughter of my higher self of like, see, all you had to do was come back into connection with me without the mind involved. Mother Mary shares in the Sophia Code that the mind was designed to be an empty space, an empty canvas for the visions of your heart to arise within your conscious awareness, and for the mind to serve your heart, not for your heart to be a victim of the mind's monkey chatter, because the mind is very, very powerful. And when we have to train the mind, we have to be willing to identify through meditation, prayer, and whatever our daily practices are, that it is our hearts that are guiding us and that our minds are servants of the heart. Okay, so we've got meditation, calling in your circle of empowerment, movement, and I want to encourage that if anybody's watching with a disability where their ability to physically move is impaired in some way, I really want to just say that there's always a way, with support from others, that these same creative movement practices can be applied to your journey. And I think the beauty of taking time to reflect upon what would be the practices that would feel good to your heart, to ask others to be a part of co-creating those feelings of movement, that connection of nature, to move beyond the stagnancy and back into that creative flow. I believe that sometimes when we have been given the journey of an obstacle or a physical a challenge with our physical body, in and of itself, that becomes a creative calling, becomes a creative invitation to deepen in our trust of life and the collaborative efforts that we can experience with others. That's the creative spirit as well. And I don't say that lightly. There was a time in my life where, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to walk. So I know the pressure of what that feels like. And so whenever I mention movement, it's so important to me and I get so excited about it. And I want to be very mindful of our Earth Angel brothers and sisters that movement is energy and movement is coming into alignment with source. And there are countless ways to do that. And through prayer and meditation, we can always access what our body, hearts, and minds really need based on whatever creative challenges we're facing in our life. Okay, so thanks for letting me share that. And the next thing I would like to share is that when we are wanting to really discover what those obstacles are that are arising in our creative journey, what those feelings of stagnation are really communicating to us, we can journal about that. And I just posted some journaling prompts this week with Hathor. We did a video earlier this week. And if you go back to January, there's some journaling prompts that could really help stimulate your creativity this weekend. But I think it's important for us to have a conversation with the one within us that may feel afraid about where creativity will take us. Creativity is, it's a holy fire, it's holy water, and it's meant to transform us. And if we have been holding back in some part of our life where we haven't felt the empowerment of our creatorhood and we've kind of relaxed into a more unconscious victimhood in that area of our life, that's the area of your life to go take it to your journal, invoke your higher self and your inner child, all the different people and voices within you to the table, and have a council in your journaling experience where you really invite the truth to come forward through your heart and your mind and to be communicated to the page. You can also do this on your computer. I happen to find that for myself personally, that journaling with a pen is really helps me connect to the somatic communication of my body. And your body and your emotions are, it's almost like meeting another person that's a part of you, especially your body. Your body actually has its own consciousness outside of your soul, because part of what makes up your body is the earth. There's a almost like a deva energy to your body that can speak its own ideas and thoughts and beliefs about what you're navigating in your human experience that go beyond, your spiritual journey. It has a conversation to offer too. And these parts of you can share about the wounding or trauma or subconsciously held beliefs that would contract when you step into a more creative flow. Another tool that I love to share is visualizing what it would feel like to live your most creative life. What does that feel like? Who are the people that you are engaging with? What are the projects or the ideas that the beliefs are, not the beliefs, but like the values that you get to come in contact with every day? What does it feel like to loosen your expectations on others and be more curious about how creativity can uplift your communication and your ability to unconditionally love someone in entirely new ways? Visualizing, for example, if you were wondering how to speak to your spouse in a more creative way that's uplifting for both of you, visualizing how it would feel after that creative conversation that went really well, like pre-paving through creative, imaginative visualization. How would you feel after that conversation? Would you feel more connected? Would you feel relief? Would you feel inspired? Without an attachment to a specific outcome, what is the feeling? And that's another reason why creativity brings up so much for us, because it's connecting you to your feelings. If there are unresolved feelings that are really seeking out your attention, your creativity is going to guide you directly to those feeling places. And that creativity, it wants to support you in downloading and embodying those solutions. by guiding you in new ways. So the most important step out of all of these things is your willingness to be curious, your willingness to be a little bit more playful, your willingness to enjoy the innocence of your soul. Innocence is not naivety. Innocence is the wonder that you as a child felt for life, for this world, for heaven, for God. It's a soul intelligence that actually naturally knows how to step into the flow of constant harmony with creativity. And I invite you to explore this, to be curious, to explore this innocence within you that already knows how to be naturally creative. What if we were to practice letting go of the idea that you're not creative? I mean, just the very fact that your soul manifested you as a human being is kind of like an ultimate masterpiece. You're literally, as I often say, a miracle in motion. You're also a masterpiece in motion. You are the downloaded canvas, the painting of your soul's desire to be here. The fact that you're breathing on earth is an act of creativity. The fact that you love others just as much as you do, that is creativity. The fact that you can take time to connect into your direct connection to source, that it is an extremely creative prompting that naturally rises within you. And when we start to, here's a final tip, when we start to acknowledge and celebrate everything that we naturally do as a creative, as pathways of creativity that you are already naturally exploring in your human experience, your heart is going to be uplifted by that. Your emotions are going to be encouraged and supported to continue to go higher. Your thoughts are going to continue to soften and relax into the safety that you're celebrating yourself. And so let's set the intention that this weekend you're going to be, excuse me, you can celebrate your natural creative urges, your natural creative expression in the world. And that you're going to be pleasantly surprised by the recognition of just how uniquely creative you are in your approach to life. I would love to read about the miracles and the recognition that arises this weekend. You can share that in the video chat, come back and watch this video again, share your reflections in the comments. And I just want to say thank you for spending such a quality week together in community dialogue. Thank you to beloved Isis. I'm wearing the Embody Your Sovereignty pendant today. Beloved Isis and Hathor for guiding us in this really unique dialogue about creativity and communication. And again, we are going to change our time for the KR Daily transmission starting on Monday. We're moving from 8 a.m. Pacific into 9 a.m. Pacific. So that begins on Monday. And I'm also going to be traveling next week. So we do have some videos that I've created for that this week, but you'll be receiving new content every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific starting this Monday. And then I'll see you back here live by the following week in March. And of course, we're going to continue in our ongoing community dialogue with creativity and communication. And we'll be setting those videos as premieres so that you can continue to connect with one another in the chat. Our team angels are going to be here for you. And you can also meet some of our Sophia Circle leaders who will be supporting in the chat. And yeah, it's really important for me to share that in 2022, my vision for the year of the dragons and our Sovereign Soul events is to really highlight how our team angels and our Sophia Circle leaders, our certified Sophia Circle leaders who lead official Sophia Circle journeys to the Sophia Code, are here for you. This is a we movement. This is it's taken, several years to get us to this place, and I'm happy to be a spokesperson for the Sophia Code movement. However, my prayer is an Aquarian movement. It's it's a collective movement of leaders. And that's why so much of what I offer is consecrated to leadership, such as our upcoming event in Austin for Sovereign Spiritual Leadership, our amazing event coming up in Sedona as well, for our psychic spiritual leadership. And those two events work together. They really build upon one another. So if it's possible for you to come to both, you're really going to benefit from that back-to-back training. So yeah, so please know that when you show up, whether I can be here live, which is always my intention to be here live. I've never gone live this many days in a row ever. So this has been an enormous stretch for me, but it's been really fun and I've been really enjoying it. And it's been a part of my, I set my personal word for 2022 was consistency. I wanted to show up to the camera consistently in a way that I never had, and to really show up to the changes and transformations that I'm personally going through that can benefit this movement, to expand in greater and greater ways. And part of that was building this movement was coming to a place where our certified leaders and our team angels could start to facilitate more and more of this movement alongside of me, because that's how the message of the Sophia Code is going to be able to reach as many people that need it. And honestly, like millions upon millions of people need the Sophia Code. The activations of the divine genome, the mentorship of the ascended masters, it's unlike anything that's out there. And to take the time for anyone to take the time to actually walk through the profound mystery school curriculums that we offer that are available on our site, usually that would start with a Sophia Circle journey where people can gently walk through the Sophia Code with a certified facilitator and start to grasp the depth of transformation that happens when you genuinely, walk through the Sophia Code together in community. It's extraordinary, the changes that can happen. And we've witnessed it for the past 5 years with so many individuals. And it's, what continues to inspire me every day is the depth of transformation that the Sophia Code teachings and movement and mystery school offer others. And I am so thrilled to actually get to see the actualization of what these teachings look like in our certified leaders, like their higher self embodiment, their ability to lead through their sovereignty, to witness that after 5 years of, giving it my all for this movement. It's so exciting for me to witness that our Sophia Circle leaders are here now to truly be an extended part of our team. And we also have an affiliate program to support them as well and helping us to get this education out to as many people as possible. And that to me is real leadership. Like leadership is service and leadership is serving side by side. It's not about a hierarchy. The divine feminine is all about activating the sovereign divinity within each and every one of us. And our Sophia Circle leaders around the world are indeed leading side by side with us. And if you are interested in becoming a certified Sophia Circle leader, our next live mentorship journey and certification program begins this September 2022. And you can reach out to my team angels at kaira.com to learn more about that exciting opportunity. And our first live affiliate training is actually happening in Austin. We're going to do an amazing prosperity outdoor fire ceremony, which is going to be followed up by an afternoon of affiliate training. So if you're looking forward to becoming a Sophia Circle leader, becoming an ambassador of the Sophia Code, joining us in the prosperity and the empowerment that we are offering the world, feel free to reach out to our team angels. We're ready to support you in stepping into your full yes to your sovereignty. We have the tools, we have the school, we have the angels to support your growth here. And again, I want to thank everyone for joining us live today. This has been so much fun. I'll be sending you updates from my travels next week. Look for those live premieres that are going to happen every day, 9 a.m. Pacific next week, Monday through Friday. I'm also going to be posting I'll probably do it for Friday, a redwood meditation that I did in the redwoods. I recorded it over my birthday last month when I went to the redwoods and visited Mount Shasta as part of my birthday pilgrimage. So there's some really cool content coming next week. I hope you can tune in live. Please be sure to go ahead and like this video. If you're new to our channel, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. And you can click on the bell to receive notifications every time we go live. It is always my heart's prayer to be on time for these transmissions, but as they are offering, there's usually about a wiggle room of anywhere between 2 to 10 minutes of when I can get here live because of work. So thank you for your understanding. And when you see that, when you click on that bell, you'll get the notification of when I go live, no matter what. So yeah, there's a little bit of support there for that. I'm juggling so many things right now. I love you all so much. I look forward to reading about how your creativity was shining through to your awareness this weekend. And you got, and reading about all of your beautiful creative breakthroughs, self-realizations, your self-love journey with creativity in this video's comment field. So have a wonderful weekend. All my love, everyone. Namaste.